Welcome back, everybody, to the Thursday night tip. And the reason for that, I got to adjust this camera again. Reason for that title is we're going to finish up the tip on the other side tonight. There we go. Hopefully that straightened it out. This is the Bob Ross balsa, the Eric Brenna streaming in for Stunt hanger. And tonight, I'm going to show you what I've done with the tip. Hopefully I can get the camera down in there. Last night, if you remember, I glued the tip on and sanded it out. And let's see here, let's switch views. Go here. And we'll move this over here. That tip, which is pretty much roughed in now. Got all hollowed out. If you look in here, she's hollowed out. So we made it as light as possible. Good evening, James. And before I finish this, it still has a slight bump there, but before I finish this, I want to get the other side on it, get it symmetrical, and then cut it back out and hollow it out, and then finish it off again. Because, like I said, it does take a little bit of, this type of work takes a little bit of finesse, so to speak. You got to work at it. But things that I don't have anything better to do, why not finish it? I'm going to have to get this bell crank glued in. Okay, so now, what I've shown you before, we're going to take this tip, make sure that it's back sanded. This angle here is sanded back at an angle. Now this tip here, because we're making it symmetrical, is a little more tricky than the other one. Thank you, James. I've made a mark on the tip here where this needs to be in order to be symmetrical with the other side. Well, it doesn't quite reach there, so I need to sand that to that angle. Sandpaper is your best friend when building airplanes. The reason being I'm trying to do this is we're going to add a rib in here, I think. So in order to add that rib, I need it symmetrical. And I might get to that tonight. We might run a little long tonight instead of like last night. Now you notice that this is sanded in the wrong angle, so we need to sand that to the right angle. Okay, let's see, we got it now. Pretty close, pretty close. I'm going to show you, since I found the number 22 blades, I'll show you how I normally do it. Okay, that's correct right there. So you're going to make sure it's on the line, on the mark, so it's even with the other one. Tight up against the leading edge, and we're going to tack it in place. This one should go a lot faster than the ones I did last night. The reason you're tacking it is you're going to cut it back off. But it has to be on there good enough to, let me take this flap off so I don't break it. Just in a couple of spots. You don't, like I say, you don't want it glued on there permanently, because they're a bear to get off when they're glued on permanent. So it seems that I found the 22 blade. Somewhere, there it is. This is kind of like peeling an orange. I use this long blade here. Yep, let's see here. There we go. Yeah, still not tight. Loosened up on there. Ah. Anybody figures out how to make a glue bottle that doesn't clog up, they'll be millionaire. Okay, are there any questions on how I do my wingtips? I mean, this is something I've done for years, like this, and it's all because of covering. Remember that. This blade is dull. Use whatever it takes to get it down. I'll be grinding it with a file here in a minute. Let's go to this view here. Nope, this one. I can't get it to stick down tonight. What the heck is going on? 9 and 3. Like, subscribe, share, super chats. Hope you guys are going to enjoy the pamphlet section as soon as it gets up and running. You know, what I do is kind of my video magazine. Kind of got the idea from Bob Hunt when he did the Stunt Flyer video magazine. He went out and interviewed a bunch of people. I mean, if you're an avid modeler and you want to really see some stuff, you need to get that Bob Hunt Stunt Flyer video magazine. I think there's probably 10 or 15 hours of video. And we got a long ways to go. Let me get the grinder out. Where the heck did it go? We get the file. Give it to business. There it is. With dull knives, it's easier to sand than it is to try to carve it. A little more messy, but we should be able to do this within the hour. Get it sanded, get it roughed in and sanded. I won't hollow it out on camera because that Dremel makes a lot of noise. Man, that's like a 1/4 inch. So, what are we going to do here? It'll take all week at a 1/4 inch. I need to cut some of that off. I just saved myself a half hour of sanding there. There we go. Got it roughed in a little better. Good evening, Chris. Let's see. Now we're going to look at it from the front to see how much we got to take off. A lot. A lot. Good evening, Alan. If you guys notice, their names are in green. They are paid subscribers. So if you'd like to help me out, please consider joining me. Become a paid subscriber. Help helps me bring these videos to you. I think it's $4.99 a month. Where can you get this kind of entertainment for $4.99 a month? Seen you screw up stuff live on TV. I've been at it 15 minutes. You made a huge mess on the floor. Let's see where we are here. Yeah, we're getting there. You'll notice when I want to take a lot of material off, I go against the grain. When I'm at home, I use 36 grit sandpaper for this kind of thing, but I don't have any here, so I'm using 80. You want to move material, you go down in numbers. I even have some 24 grit sandpaper. Okay, where are we at now? A little more. We're almost there. We're roughed in real close here now where it's symmetrical, both sides. And of course I have to put in my piece here. You want to do that before you start shaping the tip. I think this wing's around 6 ounces now. Maybe it's 7. It wasn't much. We can weigh it up so I get an idea what the tips are. Now what I'm doing here is I'm getting down in front of it and looking at both sides. I'm going to bring it close and then finish it up. Maybe you should see that. So let's go here. I'll put it over here. So I'm bending down and looking at it from the front. Don't get the sandpaper on this sheeting here. Not going cross, not sanding cross grain anyway. You'll put in lines that you'll never get out. Okay. Pretty much roughed in. Pretty symmetrical. So in 19 minutes, I made it symmetrical. Oh, don't do that. Now you have to stop. When you're using 80 grit, you have to stop before you think you need to and switch to something like 180 or 220. Or else you'll dig in some grit marks that you can't get out. See, what you're trying to do with sandpaper is continually knocking down the high spots. So you start out with 36 grit sandpaper and you move a lot of the material, and you go down to 80 grit sandpaper and you move some more of the material, and then down to 220, 320, 400, 600. Well, you're continually trying to remove the scratches. But if you go too far and dig in too deep, you can't sand far enough. So you got to stop with the heavy grit sandpaper before you think you need to. Okay, we need a little block of wood there. See, how long is it? It's pretty long, really. So it's a pretty good size block. Oh, man. Now, if I remember right, I put it in like this. So, whoa, buddy. About had everything on the floor. Boy, I wish these other saws were sharper. The saw here is sharp, but it's not deep. It doesn't go deep enough. But we're not building a watch. We're just framing it up. There we go. Okay, there's our piece for that. We need to clean up the edges. Well, this appears. Okie dokie. It's not quite wide enough. Isn't that a bitch? So we needed at least that long. Needed at least that long. So we'll cut another one. Better too long than too short. Man, I had a heck of a time at work today. Drilling truck frames. God, metal must have been tickled. I spent 3 hours drilling a couple of holes, broke a couple bits, 5/8 bits. Tough day. We'll get her tomorrow, though. Okay. Now remember, you don't want to glue this to the tip, to the perimeter. You want to glue this to the cap here. That should be good. Yeah, with any luck, it'll carve easy. Better get a new blade. That's what it is. You know, along with one of the most important things when sanding is when the sandpaper quits cutting, get a new piece. I see guys a lot that'll take, it's like their only piece of sandpaper, just a little square. And they'll sand and sand and sand with a worn out piece of sandpaper, and they're just, not only are they kidding themselves, working themselves to death. Same with a knife blade. When it don't cut, either the wood's ridiculously hard or you need a new blade. Let's see here, I don't want to screw this up. Yeah, throw the paper out and get a new piece. Don't be so cheap. Control line pliers are inherently cheap, and it costs you a lot of work. Okay, so we got that pretty much roughed in there. And to keep from having to, to keep from having to grind too much evening, Greg, we'll cut some of that off. Now this has to be done from the end of the tip. And I'll see if I can rearrange all this stuff and move the camera so you can get an idea what I'm going to do here. Because it needs to look symmetrical on the end. That's it. Yep, I'm cheap. And crap, I don't mind buying more sandpaper and more new blades, you bet. Okay, in order to make this look right, this right here and this right here have to be the same. So Thank you, Banshee. Okay, I just got it close, and then I get out a piece of brass. It's got sandpaper on it. And go by hand. If you use power tools, I mean, I can use power tools, but I try to use the power tools just to move the big amounts, and then hand fit everything. So we'll get out another sanding tool here. Wish I had room to work. Now, another trick. Don't sand this way on this. You'll break that edge off. So you want to pull it back toward you. Okay. That'll be fine. Take the blade and I'm going to trim it off here. Remember my motto, don't carry around any extra wood. So that's you'd never see that piece under the covering that I'm cutting off. But why would I want to carry around I mean, really, I don't have a scale small enough to measure what it weighs. But if you do that 100 times, it ends up being an ounce. Yeah, cut that out right there. And that piece. Like I say, I don't know what it weighs, but it has to weigh something. So now, get this sandpaper. "34 minutes. I blocked that tip out. So, in all actuality, if a guy works at this, you could finish a wingtip in a couple hours, where you didn't have to video and monkey with stuff and lighting and all that. Remember what? Oh man, I'm putting too deep of grooves in it. Remember what I told you? that this has to go this way and this way and this way and this way. Piece of sand. Hopefully this is 180. Yay, found a piece of 180. Got some super fill on it, but it's on that side. Don't need it. Yeah, I saw that it started putting in some deep scratches there. That where I'm close enough to finish, I would never get them out. Get the scratches out. So fortunately, I caught it and stopped before I got too far. Otherwise, you'll be puttying. We don't want to. You don't want to put on any more on your model than you absolutely have to. I might do a finishing thread for the stunt hanger or for the stunt news, Pampa stunt news, because so many guys having trouble with heavy finishes. They put on that Insta Shine. So now I need to look and see we have some symmetry. Pretty close. So under my tagline, when it says the finish starts with the first piece of wood cut, it's really the truth. Yeah, well, that's good if you practice up on it. But a lot of guys can dig holes. The trick to sanding without using a block is never sand back and forth. Always go around in circles. Okay. All right, now I need to build up that piece like I did in the back. Happy little circles, that's right. The Bob Ross balsa says happy little circles. The Eric Brenna Screaming says, where's the 12-year-old? Then, of course, we got to sand down to this line here, so this is our finish line, that center line, so I need to stand it up this way. Got a little fill I got to put in right there. Let's see here. That line right there is our silk span line. You want to go from the silk span line down to the center line. Remember, this is the ultimate lightest tip you can make for a control line stunt airplane. The I-beam style wing tip. I like solid wing tips. They look really nice, but you give up quite a bit of weight. Okay, we got one piece left to make, and then this tip will be pretty much roughed in. Of course, we got it roughed in. It'll be sanded at least 4 or 5 more times. And it still needs superfill. Gets it along this seam, along here, along back here. This will all be molded in. What do you guys think of those tips? You like that design or construction of those? I mean, it's not how most people do them. We're going to put an extra rib out here too, I think. As soon as I get this extrapolated and this sanded out, I'll show you how I'm going to come up with that rib pattern. You can just put this parameter around it like I have the inboard tip, not put this on, not put that on, and cover it. And it'll go down just like, they'll go down just like an I-beam wing airplane, but this is a modified beam wing tip. Now that it's sanded in, of course, it gets cut off and hollowed out, just like the other side. Everything's a process. Well, yeah, you tried to make it look like it was made from one piece. That way, when you cover it, there's no transition. See, I can still feel that right there, but I'm not ready for a final sand out because it's not glued on permanently. The other side is glued on permanently, but hasn't been final sanded. So what I need to do now is get my piece like I did last night. I need some room to work is what I need. I'll just cut it off this end, I guess. Dust. Now I'm trying to keep the grain going straight so that it all does look like one piece. So I need to cut an angle on the end of this. Where the heck is my pen? Of course, it'll be on the floor someplace I can't reach. Yeah, like right over here. I get this in, I can extrapolate the rib after I get it sanded. I keep promising to clean this place up, but never get around to it. I keep the floor pretty well swept up and the dust up, but the bench is a mess. I need to sort out the wood pile. The wood pile is extending out into the kitchen. Come on. Okay. Oh boy. can't even feel where it starts and stops. Sanded too good. Right there. Right there. Symmetry, my boy, symmetry. So we'll cut a little long and sand it to the length. Okay. No, I don't use Stix-It. Clear dope. Watch my 3 polyspan videos and give you an idea how to do polyspan. Polyspan's a cross between monocoat and silk span. It's an odd covering. So what we're doing here is that this edge, that mark right there, has to come this end of this has to come right even with the end of the trailing edge sheeting. Don't worry about this in here. We'll sand that to shape. You know, from the inside when I get it glued on. But that end has to be right there. So let's do this. We'll glue it down. And it has to be a tight joint up against that trailing edge. And if you remember, I told you don't glue on this side of it because you're going to be sanding that away anyway. And what happens is it leaves you a funky hard spot. So you glue it from the inside. And it's smoked, so we got a good joint. Man, I wish I could get this bell crank situation squared away. Maybe I'll tape it. I'm afraid it's gonna cause a problem. So we'll tape it. I'm not ready to glue it on yet, so, but I would like it on there for weight's sake. See what everything weighs. So we'll get a couple pieces of tape here. This 3M yellow tape is the best tape I've ever used as far as crate tape goes. Not like the crap that we used to have when I was a kid. Not like blue painter's tape. This stuff will stick. That's that on there. Perfect, but it doesn't matter. We're just trying to hold that bell crank and push rod from flopping around. Can you please talk about the added tubing on the BSICA bottle? Okay, that's Teflon tubing. You can buy it I just have a little piece left here, but you buy it in a roll that's 6 foot long. Comes from House of Balsa, part number NEC-04. $2.99 for 6 foot, or it was then. I don't know what it'll be now in the new world, but probably $12. NEC-04, and that's the stuff I use to wick the glue down in there. I have this as well, same stuff. This will probably last you, I don't know, nobody builds as much as I do, and this would last me 2 years, so. Okay. So we have this pretty much squared away. I'm going to take a round. You're more than welcome, John. I'm going to take a round sanding file and sand the inside first. Now, depending on how crazy a guy wants to get, he could come in here with a Dremel tool and actually hollow this piece out as well. I don't really feel that it's necessary. You want a little strength in case you bump the tip on something. Okay, we got that. That's pretty good. Now it's just a matter of blending it in. Move this. Got all this crap all over the place. About 90% of this goes away. But it's better to make it too big than too small. That way you don't have to monkey around with it. Oh, don't break it. So this tip was 7 grams when it started. This piece of wood, 7 grams. So I would say we probably added 3 grams, so 10 grams for the total tip. That includes the leading and this extra wood that I put on here and the glue. So it's way under a half an ounce. And the only way you could really tell is to weigh it before, the whole wing before and the wing after. I wonder if my buddy Danny's watching this, or Jim Lynch. Well, for that fact, Tom Morris. Everybody's always watching what I'm doing. Yeah. Remember, this is the hardest angle to get right here. the transition to make it look good. And if you screw this up, it's just like putting a trim tab. Yeah, John. You screw this up just like putting a trim tab on your airplane. So that zero line that I put all the way around the tip, it's in the center of this, and made sure that it was on there straight so the flaps were zero. And it follows it all the way around to the zero edge of the leading edge. $70 ounces, you bet. Okay, how does it feel? See how thick it is? Oh, you can't see. See how thick it is back here? No good. You got to keep sanding. Get that symmetrical. Needs a little bit right there. Pretty good, pretty good. Pretty good. So now back to the 80 grit. We'll clean that up. I'm running a little long here tonight. Hour and 4 minutes. I guess we'll see about adding that extra rib and see what it looks like. I'm not going to grind it, hollow it out tonight, but I'll do that off camera because it's a noisy operation. But we'll get this close to finish. So I won't finish sanding this until it's glued on because it's got a transition there, and it'll change a little when I glue the tip on. You want a nice gradual from this right here, from the edge of the tip, you want a nice gradual slope down into the outside. That way the covering will stick down on it. The only place you have a sharp attachment point is between here and there. Which is not a problem. Okay, let's see about making a rib pattern or a rib. So do I want it to go like this? I suppose. So I'm going to need to cut this straight. I'm not sure whether I'm going to cap it or 1/8 inch rib or what. This will just be a pattern. Dust. Now you can do this one of two ways. Get it close and sand a shape, or use this rib as the template. We're going to do a combination of both. So I'm going to need an angled edge there. Okay, there you go. Oh, broke it loose. I'll have to go over this thing in detail, glue it again. A lot of spots I missed. Okay. Yeah, they're diagonal. It's a secret. Need to do that again. Need to do that again. Uh-oh, here's a neighbor. Not only they need to make a snorkel that doesn't clog, they need to make a pen that writes on balsa wood. Unbelievable. So cut a little big and sand to shape. Okay, close enough. I don't know. I don't know. I think I may do this. I may put two. I use a Thunderbolt long reach idle bar. I think I may do 2 ribs in it like that. If I just put 1 in there, the covering is going to have too much of an angle here. I put 2 in there. Yeah, I think we're going to have 2. So I need to make this one 1/8 inch bigger. Let's try again. Try again. This will be all right for the second one. And I'll tell you this too. When you finally get the pattern for this, make sure you cut all the pieces out for it. Cut the other side too. That way you don't have to go through the rigmarole of trying to do this over again and plot this out. You know what? I think we'll just leave it 16th. I think this will be plenty. Okay, so it needs to be cut. I need an 1/8 inch off of this end right here. Okay, where's my... Yeah, I just eyeball it. We're in the eyeballing mode tonight. Close enough. Because this ain't the final thing. I'm just trying to get an idea. Okay, that's long enough so that this needs the angle this way. A little more off that end. Okay. I want you guys to notice that if your parts fit good, you really don't even need to pin them. They'll just stay where they are because there's no room for it to move. So, kind of important to get the fit right. So we need, this is going to be a different shape. There's my scale. Yeah. It is 2 1/32. That's way short. Cut this off. This is very indicative of Nobler-esque wingtips here. Now George used an 1/8" tip plate with no edging. The tips never looked all that good to me, but he was all about weight, or tried to be anyway. Okay. Now this is a peculiar thing because it's got compound angles on this turn. I don't think that's going to work. That will not work. I need to notch this so that this piece is how much longer? It needs to be a 1/2 inch longer than this with a notch in the center. So there's a 1/2 inch longer. See, always thinking about the covering. If I were to put that there, it would have stopped right there and the covering wouldn't have flowed. So we'll put it right there. Put a line in the center of this. We'll measure up. Well, I won't even have to measure. Just eyeball it. Quarter. And that is probably 5/8. So we'll start out at a 1/2. $80 ounces. She's a building. Keep adding the wood to it. I'm not even sure I'm going to like this, so I'll look at it and think about it before I commit to it. Needs to be deeper yet. 1/4 inch deeper. Still got to be deeper. Another 1/4 inch. Make it 3/16. You say, why am I doing this? Well, if you know how covering works, the way that it flows off onto the tip, if you just have it hanging in the outer space, there'll be underneath the covering, there'll be an open spot where the covering is not attached to anything except for the outside edge and the top of that. So you want it to transition smoothly. There we go. From one to the other. Okay, that is correct now. So, come this way. No, not a Super Tagger OS number 8, or use a what I told you. Call Randy and get some Thunderbolt plugs. There was another place that was selling them too. Okay, I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about here. Now I have to finish sand this, but I'm going to get off here and eat dinner. But I think I'm going to do this. So when you look from the back of this rib shape has to hold this there has to hold the shape of the leading edge, and it's kind of got to transition over to this one. We'll sand this all together. But when the covering comes down, it has to be supported all the way out to the edge so that it leaves a nice edge when you're covering it. And it'll go up around this corner as well. And the same with back here. Otherwise, it'll be suspended in outer space and it'll look like hell. I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you'll more or less see it when I cover it. And of course, when I get these patterns done, I'll make them for the other side. Thank you. And open them up. Even though it's just a small piece of 16th, you don't want to carry around any more weight than you have to. So you want to make sure to hollow those out as well. Now, if you look back here, the reason why we didn't have to cut into it like this is this will transition right into the big area of the trailing edge. That's not too much problem. Take a little filler, but it'll be fine. Trust me, it'll be fine. So that's my tips. Thank you very much. Make sure to like, subscribe, share. We had a big crowd tonight. No super chats, but hey, whatever. No new members. I don't have studio, so I can't see who did what, but nobody popped up green. Any questions? Oh, this fell down. When you do these, leave them proud. So you got little standing rooms. You know, like right now, I just set them up about 32nd of an inch so that when I finally do glue it, should be right in there. And when you cut the other side, you want to make sure to cut it symmetrical. Yes. Yes, this is the outboard wing. Shiny side up on poly span. That'll be good enough until I get it glued in. So tomorrow night, while you guys are watching Charles, I'll be putting superfill on this tip and then moving to the other side. All right, that's it for this evening. Thanks for joining me. Be sure to like, subscribe, share the videos. Any questions, you can always ask me here or on Stunt Hanger. So, till next time, see ya.